Without doubt one of the best races in terms of track action, the Hockenheim race in the Forest. Last season's race saw Jarno Trulli take the second win of the season for Dark Wolf ahead of Bourdais and Michael Schumacher, who was driving for Guy Racing at the time. Q1 saw probably the biggest shock of the season. MRD failed to make the race, but it could so easily have been Pedersen. Those two teams, along with SF1, all tied with 16 points, but Pedersen and SF1's two drivers, Coulthard and Alonso, were ahead of MRD's top driver, Kimi Raikkonen. And here's David Coulthard on track in the second of the four long straights, approaching the Ost curve. Here he is, accelerating away from the long right after the right-left chicane, powering his way through to the third chicane with his Ferrari engine. A memorable race here was 2003, where the turbo cars, who were expecting to dominate, seemed to struggle into these chicanes. It was FJR, who had yet to get the turbo engine, who dominated that event. Nick Heidfeld and Kimi Raikkonen 1 and 2 on the grid. But that race produced probably the most craziest track action we've ever seen in FF1M. Anyway, 4 seasons on, 4 or 5, and here's Coulthard driving for SF1 in front of their team's home crowd. So it's a great effort from them to get into their second race of the season, the other one being Austria, of course. And here's Felipe Massa replacing Adrian Sutil after Sutil did not deliver, and Rosberg goes 2.6 seconds quicker. Felipe Massa's last season was 2005, where he scored a race win for Guy Racing that season at the Nürburgring race, I think. Here's Exelite. I'm expecting them to do quite well here, as they've got very good engine power. And here's Genet, second that time round, and Zonta goes third behind the Spaniard. Sebastian Buemi for Mitchell. Mitchell recently announced that Sebastian Buemi would be driving for them next season. And there's Vettel, goes slower than Rosberg. Rosberg determined to do very, very well in front of his home crowd. And there's De La Rosa, who scored his first points of the season in his comeback race, the Shake and Bake. And here you can see the top speeds. The top speed at the moment being held by Jarno Trulli, 215 miles an hour, and Klein is 6 miles an hour slower. So it does show that the turbos are going quite well here. The other news is the AFIA have announced the sponsorships for the next season. FJR, Shake and Bake, Shannon, Pedersen, Guy Racing and Tornado all stick with their sponsors, as Jenson Button went second and Rosberg goes even quicker. Dark Wolf welcome Vodafone, although expecting the livery to remain in the same colour scheme. Dodgem take the Panasonic liveried car. Mitchell moved to Kingfisher. Andy Racing have secured Toro Rosso, so effectively the sister team to Shannon. And SF1 have taken this team's sponsorship, the Virgin. And a quick update on the FF2M situation. Anthony Davidson, Nelson Piquet, Heikki Kovalainen, Lucas Di Grassi and Bruno Senna have all secured at least one race win. Here's Lewis Hamilton, only 4th for Lewis Hamilton. He's had some reliability problems recently. And Rubens Barrichello's going to complete a lap. He had a superb Austrian race. And is that a wheel off the track then? I'm sure I saw a wheel off there then, and as Barrichello goes 22nd and last. In FF2M, it seems like Davidson, Piquet and Kovalainen are all challenging for the championship with each other. Light Wolf, Liquid Target and OLM Racing look to be the championship rivals in the team's championship. Without doubt the biggest disappointments of FF2M this season has been STV Racing, the who are run by FJR, who are disappointing 10th, behind even the first time entrants, the SF1 junior team. White Wolf run by Dark Wolf, Liquid Target run by Andy Racing, and OLM Racing run by the Mitchell team. It's Sebastian Vettel on a lap. He's in third at the moment, but he's looking to try and get on the front row alongside Nico Rosberg. Can he actually beat Nico Rosberg? Here he rounds the final corner. He can't manage to beat Rosberg, but he's beaten Button to the front row. And Sebastian Bourdais, who actually topped the Q1 timesheets for Dodgem. Let's see what this effort can do. 9th. So overall it seems like Dodgem seems to be making some steps forward. For Bourdais anyway, as Ralf Schumacher goes 15th. Here we have the starting grid for the German Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg takes his first pole position since Canada, I think it was. Let's hope for FJR's sake that he can stay there. Vettel takes second. Button, podium on the British Grand Prix, takes third alongside Hamilton, again a Brit row 2. Genet 5th, Kubica 6th, Alonso 7th. Pantano, Bourdais and Zon to complete the top 10. Mark Webber down in 13th has had some pretty difficult qualifying sessions recently. David Coulthard out-qualifies Felipe Massa, who himself is ahead of Rubens Barrichello. So the German Grand Prix is underway, and it looks like Rosberg's got a flyer. Vettel not so quick away, as Jenson Button tries to go around the outside of him, but Vettel holds on. And there's a big accident. That's De La Rosa's car that has flipped wildly out of control. I think a Dodgem was involved in there as well. And here's the litmus test, and there's a Guy Racing flying. It's Robert Kubica. But let's see how they're all going to do. Are we going to have our incident here? It's all been clean so far. There it is. There's an Exley off the track. Rejoins right in front of a Pedersen of Felipe Massa. As the 2 SF1s round out the field, and Vettel holds on to second. I think he repassed Kubica. Kubica's had a flying start from 6th on the grid to move up into 3rd. He's trying to get in the slipstream now. He's going to try and close up in stadium. He looks to be close enough, but the Guy Racing is not quite as powerful as the Mercedes engine. And I think Hamilton has just overtaken Button into the stadium, and Genet has made a similar move on Pantano for 7th. But Kubica looks quicker in the corners than Vettel, and Rosberg is pulling away from the young Dark Wolf driver. As if complete lap 1, Rosberg is the unsurprising. No, it's Kubica who's the fastest man on the track from 6th to 3rd on the grid, but Rosberg holds a 1.5 second lead, and Kubica is in the slipstream. Now let's see the power difference here. It looks like the Mercedes is beginning to pull away a little bit now. Although he has got him into the first chicane. Kubica takes second, and Mark Webber is out of the race. We're hearing from the screen. I think Vettel is going to have a go back at Kubica though. That's power for you. Aided with a little bit of slipstream. But these two are having a very good battle at the moment. Now a replay of the start. Here we see from De La Rosa's perspective, and he got a terrible getaway, but and look at that, he's just been swamped by the field. Now what happens here? And he got nudged by, I think he rammed into a Coulthard, which sent Hedra into the Dodgem of Ralf Schumacher. Here we are from Barrichello's perspective, and it was definitely Coulthard, and well, it was very messy there. Hamilton, this is a replay of Hamilton on Marc Genet. I think Genet was being overtaken. My mistake, it wasn't Genet on the move, it was Genet dropping back and Hamilton on the charge, and this will be what happened to Webber, and he got hit by Clean for the Guy Racing, and we'll have a closer look at what happened. Webber shutting the door, but Clean not having any of it. That was an ambitious move, ambitious. So that's 2 races in a row that Clean has taken out Mark Webber in some way. And here's Kubica challenging Vettel again. So Vettel can't pull away from Robert Kubica, as Rosberg begins to pull away from the battling duo. Both very, very talented drivers. Now he's in the slipstream. He's not gaining as much, but now he is. That's slipstream for you. He's going to outbrake him into the first chicane. Well, he ran a bit wide then, and they're off! Vettel spins! And Hamilton rams into him! Kubica off as well! Rejoins. It's Hamilton's front wing that's damaged, and I think Vettel has lost an end plate. So both drivers having to make repairs as Jenson Button moves up into 3rd place. We've got big drama here, and they're all tightly bunched together. Are we going to see more drama? And that's Bourdais hit Pantano into the Os curve, and there's a traffic jam. Vettel has stopped, he's been held up by the Pedersen there. And Mitchell makes his way around the wreckage. Alonso's moved up the order into 10th. Oh, he's dropped back from 7th even. It was Bourdais that slammed into Pantano, we know that. And Clean passing Felipe Massa for... he's recovering, is Clean, after his contact with Webber. And there's Hamilton making a 20.2 second pit stop to repair the damage, and Vettel not taking as long, but he obviously lost a lot more time behind in the Hockenheim carnage. It's going to take another special fight back from the young German in front of his home crowd. Pantano makes his way past Sebastian Buemi. Buemi has made his way around the wreckage and has stormed up the order. He's now running in 6th, having been 5th, but very strong drive from the Swiss driver. And here is Alonso taking Wirtz for the 8th place for the final points position. I should also mention that Jarno Trulli has slid round the pack into 7th place. Ricardo Zonta is locked up. It's a big lock-up, big running wide moment. So he's struggling with the car. There is Scott Speed, who's looking to challenge the Brazilian. Both ex-elites topping the speed traps here on the run up to the Os curve. So there is definitely some straight line speed advantage for the Yorkshire team. Look, he's just pulling away from him. Meanwhile, on lap 7, Rosberg leads by 6.6 seconds from Robert Kubica. Speed's locked up into the stadium, he's ran wide. He's going to rejoin just behind. Oh, he's been rammed from behind by Clean. So pit repairs there, and Barrichello's engine's blown up. So one half of the SF1 Home Grand Prix has ended. And one half of that in a smoky manner. Sebastian Bourdais recovering after his contact with Pantano. That's straight line speed on Coulthard now. Nearly running into the back of him. All over his gearbox like a swarm of bees. Meanwhile, Kubica is closing in on Nico Rosberg a little bit. It's now lap 10 and Bourdais up the inside into the stadium. Up into 11th place for the Dodgem driver. Ralf Schumacher also making the inroads. So both Dodgems are on the move at the expense of Coulthard. I should say that this is sort of Ralf Schumacher's home Grand Prix, even though he is technically German. And Alonso up the inside of Trulli into the turn 1, and he makes it stick. Good move from Fernando, but the X-Elite turbo power straight away gets the Spaniard. I don't think Fernando thought that one through. I should say that Ralf Schumacher is sort of his home Grand Prix, although Guy Racing boss. And Alonso retakes a position, although he's ran wide. He's ran wide. Trulli retakes a position and pulls away from the Pedersen driver. Guy Racing has often said that Ralf Schumacher's home race is actually the Brazilian Grand Prix, for the pride of Brazil, for the pride of Guy Racing, and Hamilton fighting back at the expense of Liuzzi. Antonio Liuzzi drops a position. Rosberg! Rosberg's engine's gone! That's a tragedy for the German driver. More bad luck for FJR. Reliability has not been on the British team's side this season, and there goes an engine. Surely that spells pretty much the end of his championship defence. Pulls off the track. So Pantano now leads, having yet to make a pit stop, from Robert Kubica and Jenson Button. Sorry, Marc Genet. Now the position has changed again, and Scott Speed is challenging 9th place Cleon. It's Robert Kubica who leads, from Genet, Pantano, Button. Buemi up to 5th, Hamilton 6th, Alonso 7th, and Vettel has fought back to 8th. And we've got Cleon re-challenging Speed. He really wants to get past, but the engine just won't let him. The Toyota in the back, and Vettel pits from 8th place. That moves Trulli up to the points. And now Cleon's up the inside of Speed into the stadium. He's done him. Up in 17th place. Meanwhile, Jenson Button has ran wide at the Os curve. Ran wide. But no harm done, he's still in 4th place. And Coulthard's slowing down. Coulthard slowing. SF1's home Grand Prix is over. Now we focus on a Dodgem. Vettel sets the fastest lap and he's catching Ralf Schumacher. Ralf Schumacher running in 11th and catching up to Mitchell of Wirtz. Look at that! The Ferrari engine looks a bit powerful. Now Vettel taking 2 positions at once there, but he's ran wide by the looks of it. No, he hasn't. He's kept it together. Great move from Sebastian. To move up to 10th place. Hamilton makes a pit stop and rejoins right behind Vettel. I think that was Sebastian Vettel. So the pit stops have worked in the favour of the Dark Wolf driver. Now Vettel is catching up to, that's Buemi and Bourdais for 6th and 7th. 6th, 7th, 8th places running together with a piece of string. Who's going to make the move? It looks like Vettel's making the move on Buemi into the Ost curve. And he's up to 7th. Now he looks like he's going to catch Bourdais for 6th place now. And look at Hamilton chasing these trio as well. Hamilton wants a piece of the action. Meanwhile, the order is Kubica, Genet, Pantano, Button, Trulli, and this battle for 6th place. And it looks like Buemi's being challenged by Hamilton from behind. They'll look very close there. Hamilton pulls out to the stadium. No, he can't quite do it there, but Buemi's definitely under pressure against the slightly more experienced Hamilton. And now Vettel's close behind Bourdais. Can he challenge into turn 1? Bourdais defends a little bit, Vettel up the inside, but he can't do it there, although they're still side by side. They're still side by side, and a little bit of weaving, but Bourdais hangs on, but Vettel's back in the slipstream. He will challenge into the first chicane. There he is in the slipstream. That's very late braking. Vettel's going to run wide, he's going to run wide. And he's tapped Bourdais off the track. He's managed to get through, but not without a little bit of contact, and now Buemi's looking to challenge Vettel back. But look at Hamilton, they're all weaving the way, trying to get past the Dark Wolves driver. This is some fantastic action, and Buemi's up the inside. He retakes 6th place from Vettel. And now Hamilton's close behind the Dark Wolf driver. This is superb action here at the German Grand Prix. And Hamilton's up the inside into the 3rd chicane. And Hamilton's done it. Up to 7th. So, what looked like it were going to be 6th place for Vettel has now dropped down to 8th. But Vettel is re-challenging Hamilton again into the stadium, and he's retaking him for 7th. This is effectively the championship battle, even though Vettel is 45 points ahead of anybody. If Hamilton can get ahead, he can at least make some inroads into the championship battle. And Hamilton is still very close behind. He's going to challenge him, not unless Vettel can close in on the Mitchell of Buemi. Verts pits, by the way, Buemi's teammate. And Vettel's, look at that, that is slipstream, and Vettel is back on the inside of Buemi. He's going to run, they're both going to run wide, and oh, Buemi hits Hamilton. Both are off, and that moves Alonso up to 7th now. And Ralf Schumacher as well up to, well, he's dropped back now, but Hamilton into turn 1 on Bourdais for 7th now. And there he's done him, but Bourdais coming back at him. Let's see how Ferrari compares against a BMW. Robert Kubica pits, makes his 2nd pit stop. Bourdais retook that position from Hamilton, but I bet my house that Hamilton would have a go back at him. Pantano pits as well, and I am glad that I took that bet on as Hamilton retakes 7th. Now the pit stops have fully shaken out now. Kubica leads from Pantano now. Ginet's dropped down the order. And that was Vettel taking Trulli for 6th place. Pantano 2nd, and Trulli, there's the X-Elite Turbo power in full force. Vettel not close enough into the first chicane, but... And is that Pantano out of the race? Pantano's out from 2nd! His transmission's gone. I saw it on the timing sheets, Pantano out. So Jenson Button now moves up to 2nd. Alonso will move up to 3rd. And here's Vettel into the 2nd chicane. That's that position regained from the X-Elite driver. Truly needs to do something about that, and this is the final lap now. Robert Kubica taking advantage of FJR's reliability problems. He's now going around the Sachs curve. It's like a massive theatre as they round the stadium section. round the final two curves, the Sud curve. And Robert Kubica is going to take his third win of the season. There he goes. Fantastic win there for the Polish driver, for the Brazilian team. Jenson Button second, great result for him in the Shannon. Genet third, ahead of Vettel, who finishes fourth. Good damage limitation after the contact. Alonso, Hamilton, Bourdais and Klein round out the point scores. Now Kubica has trimmed Vettel's lead. It's now down to 38 points. Hamilton still in third, but ahead of Rosberg. And Dark Wolf lead by 41 points from Guy Racing. So that was Hockenheim. We'll see you at the next round.